SBM Live, subscribe, we speaking boxing. SBM Live, subscribe, we speaking boxing. SBM Live, subscribe, we speaking boxing. Kenneth, yo, let's be speaking boxing. SBM Live, subscribe, we speaking boxing. SBM
What's going on, fans? It's Kenneth, SBM Boxing. From request, subscribe. Let's speak boxing. What are we going to speak about? We're going to speak about the Jessie Vargas versus Manny Pacquiao weigh-in and post-fight, pre-fight. Actually, pre-fight prediction. Right now, I'm in Paris, France. I actually travel at least once every single quarter, and it's kind of hard for me to watch the weigh-in. Why? Because it's the next day. You know, it's actually a 6-hour time difference from Miami. That's where I'm from, and then 3 hours if they're fighting in Vegas. So that's a 9-hour difference. So it's kind of, you know, it's difficult. So I'm a little 24 hours behind. It's cold. It was raining for the last couple of days, but right now it's cool. You know, it's not that cold or whatever, but it's still so chilly. I like to keep the window open. Things are a lot smaller over here. In Paris, what am I doing here? I'm eating, you know, Madeleines. I actually eat like 2 or 3 every single day. And yeah, you can see, you know, drinking bottles of wine and whatever the case may be. But I'm still covering boxing. You know, a lot of people over here, I'm over here for work. A lot of people will discuss boxing. They're big on boxing over here. And football, not American football, but soccer, that's what we'll call it or whatever. But let's go ahead and get into business. SBM Boxing, post-fight, pre-fight predictions. You got myself, you got George the Boxing Genius, who's been creating a lot of videos. Angel Chino Sanchez, Waki, Nelson, Clyde the Godfather. But that's exactly all we do. We cover boxing. So go ahead and subscribe. Friend requests, and you know, let's cover some boxing. Last night I was able to watch. Well, actually, not last night. This morning I was able to watch the weigh-in with the Jessie Vargas. Now a lot of people will say, you know, Jessie Vargas is good. Jessie Vargas is young. Jessie Vargas has a lot of power. Jessie Vargas is a threat. Manny Pacquiao has to watch out. Yeah, that's any fight. You know, any fighter who steps in the ring any given night has a puncher's chance. So that's part of boxing. Anybody can lose in any given fight. If you watch boxing, not so much you're a casual fan, but you've seen big upsets by one punch. One punch can definitely change the outcome of the fight. That's any fighter. But as far as stylistically, I think it's going to be a good stylistic fight for Manny Pacquiao. I think that's a tailor-made fight, regardless if he's 40 years old or not. Yes, he's past his prime, but you're talking about a guy, a Hall of Famer. This guy's done beat resume for resume. He's done beat the best, you know, in boxing, and has fought the best in boxing. And he holds a threat. Even though he's 40 years old, just like Bernard Hopkins, he's still a threat. Floyd Mayweather Jr. is still a threat. Just why? Because he has so much skill and ability. He's a 5-tool fighter. He has the power, he has the speed, he has the defense, he has the endurance, and he has the willingness to win, the hunger. He's not going to quit on the ropes. He's not going to quit on the stool. You're going to have to kill Manny Pacquiao for the motherfucker to stop. So he's a 5-tool fighter. And he has a lot of potential, and he continues to get better and better every single fight. Yes, he lost to Floyd Mayweather Jr., but I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm going to talk about Jessie Vargas. Jessie Vargas has the 28 fights. Yes, Jessie Vargas has lost one time. I completely get it. I get it. He's a young fighter, but I still think he doesn't have what it takes to beat Manny Pacquiao. It just doesn't make sense. And when I hear people say that, you know, Manny Pacquiao's over the hill, Manny Pacquiao's not the same Manny Pacquiao, yes, stop, you know, 1 + 1 = 2. You're absolutely right because of age, but this motherfucker, dude, he's nasty. He's nasty. So let's talk about the weigh-in. Manny Pacquiao 144 stepped in at welterweight at 147. He still came at 144, still ripped, shredded. You know, and Freddie Roach had nothing but positive things to say as far as his training camp. Yes, he was tired as senator. Sometimes in the Philippines, he was training at nighttime. He's human. He's getting older and stuff like that. So even Manny Pacquiao says some of the training camps he can't recover as fast. And sometimes he has to train at night. Why? Because in senator, his duty calls. So when he trains at night, yes, he was sloppy or whatever, but Freddie Roach gave him a couple of days off, and now he's ready to go. You know, it's muscle memory. He's been training. It's not like he hasn't been active. He did fight Timothy Bradley, beat Timothy Bradley the same year, even though he retired. So when I hear casual boxing fans like over here, people saying, you know, yeah, but he's retired, he's come back. Bitch, I know he's fucking retired, but when did he last fight? He fought this year. He fought Timothy Bradley, and he beat Timothy Bradley. Who Timothy Bradley beat Jessie Vargas, which I'll get into. Oh, you didn't know that? Oh, I'm sorry. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. All you're doing is reading and hearing what other people say. But there's a difference of knowing your shit and just listening and just being a fucking parrot. And there's a lot of casual boxing fans out there that all they are is a fucking parrot. That's all they do. They repeat the shit they hear. but they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Jessie Vargas, I'm not taking anything away from Jessie Vargas. Jessie Vargas is it's a young, rising star. You know, but it's not apples to apples. It's not potato potato. It's not apples. We're talking about apples and oranges here. You know, they're different fighters in different levels. Pacquiao's still considered an A-class fighter to me. Some people still consider him as a B-class fighter and never consider him. That's bullshit. The motherfucker's an A-class fighter. Hands down, period. He's still, what I consider him an A-class fighter, he can still beat the shit out of, he'll jump in the ring against Thurman. He'll beat Thurman. He'll beat Garcia, hands down. You know, he'll jump in the ring against Porter, beat Porter, hands down. And the thing about it, he's older, but that's going to fuck up boxing. He's going to fuck up the new generation of boxing. If he comes in and beats everybody, it's just going to fuck up the business side of boxing. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about Jessie Vargas. Jessie Vargas, he was undefeated. He did look good against Saddam Ali. Saddam Ali, which I heard against, Saddam Ali, that's the conversation I had. Saddam Ali was undefeated. Yeah, he was a rising star. Saddam Ali was good. He is good. But Saddam Ali, he wasn't the champ. Saddam Ali, Jessie Vargas won the vacant WBO title when he fought Saddam Ali. Yes, he TKO'd Saddam Ali, but Saddam Ali, in his defense, not to make any excuses, he was a non-active champ. His training camp, it was Saddam Ali had a lot of potential. He has a lot of potential, but his fucking camp, he was inactive. You know, yes, he recently won unanimous decision his last fight in September, a few months ago against Saul Corral or something like that. Yeah. But when he lost to Jessie Vargas, he wasn't active. He lost February, March of this year, right, against Jessie Vargas. He looked good at times, but he was just looking sloppy. You know what I'm saying? He was staying in, getting caught with punches he normally shouldn't get caught. He was windy. He was tired. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't ready for that fight because it was like a year. It was almost a year since his last fight. He won against Santana, and then a year previous to that, he won again. So he had 2 fights in 2 years. A young guy like that, you got to keep him active. You got to give him at least 3 fights a year. Keep him active, keep him going, and that wasn't the case. He stepped into the ring against Jessie Vargas, and Jessie Vargas is not no fucking Santana. Jessie Vargas has some pop. He has some sting to him, but he wasn't inactive. But Jessie did beat Saddam Ali. I give him credit for that. He did lose unanimous decision against Timothy Bradley. This was February, June of last year. Now, he was robbed. No, fuck that. Look, I understand the last round, but Timothy Bradley was, Desert Storm was rocking his ass, rocking Jessie with some clean ass shots. And Bradley's not known for his power, but he was able to push him back throughout the whole entire fight. Yeah, Jessie eventually got him. Had him dazed, so did Prodnikov, had him dazed, but at the end of the day, boxing's 12 rounds of boxing. You lost the fucking fight. Period. You lost the fight. He definitely should have, would have, but didn't. So eventually in the last round he got to him, and the whole referee, whatever the case may be, he lost the fight. He got outboxed, he got beat the whole entire fight. And it wasn't even a full time, it wasn't the Timothy Bradley that we know. Timothy Bradley at that time still beat Jessie Vargas, outboxed him, outclassed him. Yes, he got caught, but and Bradley wasn't in his full potential. Why Bradley wasn't in his full potential? It's momentum shift, it's confidence, it's a lot of stuff coming into the boxing fight, coming into this fight. Previously to that fight, if you guys don't recall, Timothy Bradley, he had a draw. He looked shitty against Diego Chavez. He looked shitty against Diego Chavez, who I thought he won that fight, and this was like the end of 2014. Actually, it was like in December 2014. And then before the Diego Chavez fight, he lost to Pacquiao. So he's coming off of 2 fucked up fights. So psychologically, that shit just fucks you up. So Jessie had a lot of potential and a lot of ability. He came in in an advantage, being hungry. Coming into this fight, especially he beat Antonio DeMarco, which we'll get into that next. And he still lost. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. And then Antonio DeMarco, which before the Timothy Bradley, he beat unanimous decision. He didn't knock him out, unanimous decision. But who the fuck Antonio DeMarco? I understand DeMarco won the last 3 fights before the Jessie Vargas fights. But who the fuck did he win? Who did he win? Who did DeMarco beat? He beat some guy, Leonardo Tyner, whatever the fuck his name is, who lost half his fights. He lost like 10 fights. He was like 20-10. And then the other 2 fighters that he came off victorious, DeMarco came off victorious. The same fucking shit. He fought a bunch of bums. And the DeMarco, you remember, the legitimate fighter against Adrian Broner was Adrian Broner, and this was back in 2012. He TKO'd him. You know what I'm saying? So Jessie Vargas fought DeMarco, who DeMarco's shit. Lost to Timothy Bradley, was a legitimate opponent. but it wasn't the full-fledged Timothy Bradley. And then Saddam Ali. But in my eyes, yes, I understand. So he's a good fighter. Jessie Vargas is a good fighter. Pacquiao is 40 years old, but he still doesn't have what it takes to beat, in my eyes, doesn't have what it takes to beat Manny Pacquiao. So see the difference? I'm not caught up in the hype. I'm not saying, well, he beat Saddam Ali. No, like, really know your shit. Like, as far as thoroughly explain what the fuck is going on when it comes to the fighters, because there's more to the story than what it's presented right in front of you. You know what I'm saying? So, and yes, for the last 3 years, Manny Pacquiao, you already know Manny Pacquiao. He has 6 losses. He has close to 60 fights. He has 58 wins itself. But in the last 3 years, Pacquiao, after suffering back-to-back losses, he got robbed in that fight against Timothy Bradley. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. That was a complete robbery. And then he got TKO'd against Marquez, which was their 4th fight they've had, even though Timothy Bradley was beating his ass and he had a shitty show. Whatever, no excuses, but he suffered back-to-back losses. But he was able to put up some legitimate victories. You know, he beat the dog shit out of Brandon Rios, and fucking Brandon Rios suffered in depression. After that fight, he was completely disappointed. That's not funny or anything like that. I know Brandon Rios, you know, we got to respect the fighter and stuff like that. But yeah, he was depressed at that fight because he literally had the confidence coming into this fight. Like, he literally thought he was gonna beat Manny Pacquiao. Whatever. He beat Bradley cleanly, decisively, no fucking issues, no problems. He knocked Algieri back in his cage. He beat the dog shit out of Algieri, and Algieri did pull up the upset against Proudnikov, the fight previously to that. So Pacquiao was able to go down in weight, beat Algieri, and just, you know, these were legitimate wins. And then he lost to Manny Pacquiao. I mean, Floyd Mayweather Jr. He lost to Floyd Mayweather Jr., which is a legitimate loss. Came back from injury recently, beat Timothy Bradley, and with ease. And this was back in April. So coming into this fight, I stylistically, I think Jessie Vargas has a style that he could definitely be beat. It's a tailor-made fight for Pacquiao. You know, Pacquiao fought Margarito. Pacquiao has fought Ricky Hatton. Pacquiao has fought, you know, Miguel Cotto had angles and shit like that. You know, Algieri, you know, he kind of whatever. Brandon Rios, straight there in the pocket. Right there, Sugar Shane Mosley, he was a little older over the hill, so that shit don't even count. I'm not even going to talk about that. Claudia was right there. Claudia was a fucking punching bag. And it's just a tailored fight for Manny Pacquiao, unless Jessie Vargas does something differently. You know, I seen Jessie Vargas against Saddam, and Saddam was able to catch him with some nice jabs, quick, whatever. But he's not as explosive as Manny Pacquiao is. Manny Pacquiao's a legitimate job. Manny Pacquiao has, he fights in different angles. He's very, very explosive, and he pops. He's a fucking southpaw that has a lot of power in both hands. So if Timothy Bradley was able to rock you, motherfucker, like, yo, Timothy Bradley's slower than Pacquiao. Timothy Bradley has less angles than Pacquiao. Timothy Bradley's a good fighter, and he's a good rough fighter and stuff like that. But Pacquiao's explosive. Pacquiao, a pivot, he'll work different angles. He's gonna catch you. He's gonna fucking catch you. But anyways, so what's my fight prediction is in this fight? You know, I know Pacquiao's gonna be patient. He's not gonna go for the KO or anything like that. He's already looking above and beyond this fight. He came in at 144, and usually when Pacquiao comes in at 144, he's shredded. He can go 15 rounds. So Jessie Vargas has to expect that he needs to pull in the Marquez approach. He needs to counter him. You know, he needs to counter him. Regardless of 40 years of age, Manny Pacquiao is going to go all 12 rounds. His endurance is definitely going to be there. So don't try to smother him. Don't try to get him on the rope. Don't try to throw a bunch of punches, because don't expose yourself, because you will get countered. So the best bet for him is take the fight to the distance. That's it. Take the fight to the distance, and then eventually pick it up halfway through the fight. And hopefully the age will get to him. But he came in at 144, and at 144, that basically says that he did a lot of endurance. He's fucking ripped. Abs don't lie, and Pacquiao's ready to fight. He's gonna throw 1,000 punches in this fight, hands down. Is he gonna catch Jessie Vargas? Absolutely, he's gonna catch Jessie Vargas. He's gonna catch Jessie Vargas. Jessie Vargas doesn't have the defense. He doesn't have the ability. He doesn't have the feet work to move and outmaneuver Manny Pacquiao. I could be wrong. You know, I don't want to sit there and say it's a 50-50 coin toss. I honestly think that Jessie Vargas has a 10% chance of winning this fight, but he has to take the fight to the distance. He's going to have to take the fight to the center of the ring and try to counter Manny Pacquiao. Other than that, I just don't see him, as far as smothering him and pressing him. That's not going to happen. He's going to get caught. He's going to get caught. But anyways, guys, it's Kenneth. That's me boxing from. Subscribe. Let me know what you guys think, the outcome of this fight. I'm actually excited after this fight. I want to see the Canelo fight. I want to see the Andre Ward fight. Kovale, that's going to be a good-ass fight. I'm interested in seeing that fight. Matter of fact, I'm hearing that Cotto's going to come back next year, and I would say January, February, to fight at Madison Square Garden. Hopefully he can fight Canelo. And he's basically saying that he wants the Canelo fight, Madison Square Garden. I would love to go to that fight if Cotto go ahead and fight, because I know there's going to be pretty much, Cotto has 2 fights left in the tank. But I would love to go to Madison Square Garden and see him fight. And then I hear the Kell Brook versus, I'm not sure if Kell Brook is going to fight Amir Khan, which he said he'll go back into welterweight to fight Amir Khan, or he's interested in fighting possibly Earl Spence. That'll be a hell of a fight. But then again, Amir Khan wants to fight Amir Khan will probably come back to fight Manny Pacquiao after Manny Pacquiao beats Jessie Vargas and has the belt. But Manny Pacquiao wants to fight Floyd Mayweather Jr., obviously, for the rematch. And Floyd, you never know. I honestly think Floyd's going to fight Danny Garcia, man. That's going to be a fucking setup fight. And Danny, whatever. I'm not going to talk shit about fighters. You guys already know how I feel about Danny Garcia. But anyways, guys, it's Kenneth, SBM Boxing. Let me know what you guys think. Friend request, subscribe. Have a good one. Au revoir.